I just put up in that motherfucking
takeover alerts. That's 4 hours ago. Washington, D.C. authorities enforced a juvenile curfew starting at 8 p.m. on Saturday in the Navy Yard, deploying Metropolitan Police. Declared limited juvenile curfew in D.C. effective immediately. All juveniles under the age of 18 are subject to a curfew from 11 p.m. until 6 a.m., which will extend through 11/5. And today, 11/5, we're already at 11/5. This is from November 1st. But you can see just kind of some of the mayhem that has been happening in the Navy Yard area. And I want to say that 14 hours ago, it looks like, here is 14 hours ago, MPD announces the establishment of 2 juvenile curfew zones in effect in Navy Yard and the U Street corridor. The zones are in effect tonight and tomorrow. So only for 2 days. I don't understand why only 2 days. And here is the map of the corridor. So this is probably the U Street corridor here, and the other one. Let me see if I can get it closer. This is the Southeast Navy Yard corridor here, and the other one. This is probably the U Street corridor. So a lot of the live streams that we've done here have been, wow. So this is from 9th Street. I'm surprised they didn't take it all the way to 7th Street, but so from 9th all the way to 18th Street, 15th Street. And so usually the live streams, the street interviews that I do are right in here, about 14th and V. Well, so it's about right in here, 14th and V. So this is T. This is primarily the hot spot for the juveniles, U Street, and then you have 9th Street here, where there are a lot of Ethiopian-owned bars and restaurants. And so right in here is Busboy and Poise, and that's where, well, right here is Busboy and Poise, and this is where I do the street interviews. And so DC has drawn a map here. I'm not sure if the kids are even aware of what the boundaries of this curfew zone are, but this is the new curfew zone for at least until today, for the juveniles, and it goes from the zones in effect tonight and tomorrow from 8 at night, I think, to 11 in the. Well, no, it's probably from 8 to 11. Is that right? It can't be. And someone said, "Why not citywide?" Man, that's true. You're just going to push them to other areas to commit crime. If you ban them, if these are criminals, then why not arrest them? One thing that's very interesting is you'll see that this note goes on, and I'll see if I have that article here. It's only for 9 teens or more. So you'll see it here. DC police have announced extended curfew for 2 juvenile curfew zones for the weekend. Mayor Bowser empowered the police to establish curfew parameters when necessary. The directive came on the heels of a chaotic incident in Navy Yard that saw 5 arrests. On Saturday, police put curfews in place both from Navy Yard and the U Street. I imagine this will have to move to other neighborhoods like Adams Morgan. A lot of bars there. So here's the map, the boundaries of the map as I showed you earlier. And so here are the actual meat and potatoes of this curfew. And so within the juvenile curfew zones, teens under the age of 18 are not permitted to gather in groups of more than 9. Well, so that means 8 of them, which could seriously be a problem, could band together. It just can't be more than 9. You can have 8 over here, 8 over there. It's as long as they're not 9 in total. And then you can have 19-year-olds. So if you have one 19-year-old in the group, does that count? Or 18-year-old? So it's just all very rather interesting. It's all, a way to try to deal with the problem without acknowledging what the problem actually is. There's a problem with the young black teens in D.C. and all over the country, more or less. And they're coming up with all these Rube Goldberg-like schemes to deal with the problem instead of facing it head on. No one will even mention race here. And most of these kids are going to be black, but nowhere in any of the articles will the race be mentioned. And that is all rather interesting, considering if you want to solve the problem, you have to confront it head on. So, as we think about this whole curfew thing, and you look at the map of what they said the curfew is. Effectively, they're telling the blacks, the young teens, packs of blacks, that you can't go here, you can't go there. But they can come over in my neighborhood in large numbers. There can be 15 of them. They could gather on my block. There could be 9, 10, gather on my block. I don't want them here. No one wants these young black teens around. So why is the city protecting Navy Yard and U Street when in reality, these same black teens are not wanted anywhere? That's what the mayor can't be honest about. So they come up with these Rube Goldberg-like contraptions. We're going to say, hey, no teens here from 9 to 11 or whatever the curfew hour is. But where are those teens going to go? Are they going to come to my neighborhood now and bring their shenanigans? And then do we have a curfew in this part of the city now? The bigger issue is the black teens. It doesn't matter where they are. Put a curfew in for the entire city. Do what their mammies should do for them, right? If the mammies won't set a curfew for their own children, then the city should do it for the whole damn city, not just the white area. See, this is what's interesting about blacks. They're so damn dumb that they don't realize that she's putting in policies to protect whites. That's who it's for. Navy Yard, U Street, this houses $500,000. I can't afford to live there. So the people that are going to gain from this protection by limiting the gathering of blacks will by and large be the affluent, regardless of race. But what about the people over here on my side of town that don't want to deal with the blacks? Do I just have to deal with them? 9 of them. Whenever I go on Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, it's packs of blacks. All of them down the street. Why doesn't the city do something about them? There have been murders on Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Why don't they do something about that? Why don't they institute a curfew? Dial the number down to like 3 or 4. No more than 3 or 4 blacks should be able to gather. What the hell are they doing productive to be gathering in large numbers anyway? I've never seen 9 blacks moving something or working. Hell, they should lower that number down to like 3. If I see 3 young blacks moving about, they shouldn't be allowed. Nowhere. Not Navy Yard, not U Street, not Congress Heights, not Anacostia, nowhere, right? If the young blacks are that bad in certain areas, they're bad everywhere. And that's what the mayor and the blacks cannot be honest about.